Hello there, welcome back to the channel in another episode where I will be exploring some more aspects of the Kazon, which I've decided to cover, even though nobody asked for it, doing it anyway. Personally, love the Kazon, want to explore them more, and a recent post on Facebook actually made me think of the actor Aaron Eisenberg who portrayed a Kazon, and it led me here. That is the Kazon Carden. So before we get started, please like, share and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on the Kazon and the portrayal of Carden by Aaron Eisenberg, who I think brought a vulnerability to the Kazon we'd not really seen before. But let's get into it. Carr, as we initially encountered him, was estimated to be about 13 years old in human terms. Was a young Kazon initiate into the Kazon Ogla. He hadn't yet earned his name, which in Kazon culture basically means proving yourself in battle in one form or another to earn your name. It's the Kazon equivalent of a rank, but the Kazon don't really do ranking, as they see all things to do with militarism and uniform to be signs of oppression, and they're generally against it. Carr was piloting a Kazon shuttle or fighter-style craft when it encountered a drifting Federation shuttlecraft that had just meandered into Ogla territory. Once inside Kazon space, there's no leaving as far as they were concerned, and it was going to be attacked. Carr was on a mission to prove himself in battle, and as a result was not willing to give quarter to Chakotay when he basically said, "Look, I'll leave. I didn't know I entered your space. I'm sorry." Carr, being youthful and belligerent and full of all that adrenaline, basically was like, "Nah, it's not fine. Gonna kick your ass, Federation," and he tries. And a small battle ensues, but even a Federation shuttlecraft is immensely superior to a Kazon fighter, and as a result the Kazon are not able to overpower the shuttle, not with a single fighter craft. He was able to disable and destroy the fighter, but he denied Carr his death, which would have actually earned him his name, having an honourable death. He transported him off and onto the shuttle. Later they would encounter a larger Predator-class vessel belonging to the Kazon, and you could see from Carr's face he knew what was about to happen. This wasn't going to be good for him. Razik, the first Mage of this particular Kazon group, was not happy to see Carr alive. He should have died in battle or been victorious and come back to earn his name. He had failed at both of these, and as a result he was imprisoned along with Chakotay despite his pleas for clemency. These fell completely on deaf ears, as that's not Kazon culture, or it's not their way, at least not typically. I also got the distinct impression that Carr was not a particularly popular Kazon, that perhaps he had failed before. He did have at least one sibling, a brother, who had been killed in battle and was attempting to effectively live up to the shadow that his brother had quite long cast over him. A sort of a warrior hero of the Kazon, and he wanted to be like his brother. And effectively, again, he had been denied that honour. But from a human point of view, Chakotay didn't want to kill a child. So there was, a conflict of cultures here, a clash of ideologies. Ultimately, Chakotay and Carr would escape the Kazon vessel. They would find their way down to a Kazon training planet, quite unfortunately for them, which was filled with booby traps and other sort of hindrances to their efforts to escape. Initially, Razik had actually told Chakotay that he could go free if he was to execute Carr. But, again, there's that whole don't want to kill a child thing and conflict of cultures. Chakotay was like, "Nah, it'll be fine, I'd rather die myself." And as a result, they end up having to escape. They got down, as I said, to the Kazon-controlled moon of Tarok, which was a training ground. The Kazon then joined forces with Voyager to recover these two errant officers, and that went about as well as you can expect. An alliance between the Kazon and Starfleet to go. It fell apart pretty quickly when the Kazon's mistrust of Starfleet and Starfleet's mistrust of the Kazon came to a head, and the Kazon let Starfleet walk into a trap. But they didn't take advantage and try and kill them, so I suppose there's that. Later, Chakotay and Carr were then cornered, but rather than execute Chakotay, as he no longer viewed him as his enemy, despite this would have earned him his name, he actually turned his weapon on Razik, killed him, and then proclaimed himself now Jal Karden of the Kazon Ogla. The other Kazon present would honour this, as he now said that, well, Razik was my enemy, not Chakotay, so I have killed my enemy, I have defeated my enemy, I have earned my name, nothing you can do about it, even if you kill me now. Sucks to be you, I've still kind of won my small battle I wanted to win. Kazon are, they're a different type of people. The next in line for the leadership position decided to simply go along with this. I guess Razik was a bit of a twat and nobody liked him. And they were just like, yeah, it's fine. We'll carry on. Ka would proclaim to Chakotay as he left that the next time they met, it would be in battle, effectively, and he wouldn't hesitate to kill him, even though they were parting ways on fairly good terms by, I think, Kazon standards. Chakotay would even later say a prayer for protection for Ka and helping him find his way. So, as I said, this brought a lot of nuance for me to the Kazon. As I said, Voyager wasn't exposed to much in the way of depth of Kazon culture. All we ever saw was the warriors, the soldiers, the killers. That's all we ever saw. We saw them fighting each other, fighting Voyager, fighting others. We saw them as pirates and mercenaries. But if you were to walk into, I don't know, a maximum security prison in North Korea or the United States, and those were the only humans you ever met, you were an alien visiting Earth, your first impression might be that the entire human race is a bunch of thugs, bullies, murderers, and other assorted criminals, and that we're not a race you might want to get to know. Whereas the vast majority of humans are not like that. But we only really saw a small sampling of the Kazon. But in Ka, although yes, he was belonging to this warrior class of Kazon, yes, he was a fighter, yes, he was a bit of a thug, but he was also smart, resourceful, he had a certain vulnerability. He showed that, once again, that there was more to the Kazon, that we just didn't get to see enough of it. And coming out of universe, of course, he was portrayed by Aaron Eisenberg, who was famous for playing Nog on Deep Space Nine, so it's no wonder he brought a new dimension to that character, because that is exactly what he did, along with Armin Shimmerman, particularly bringing a new dimension to the Ferengi, who we were kind of one note when we met them. The Kazon are portrayed as one note, but he brought this other side to the Kazon. He showed depth, it showed compassion, reason, logic, intelligence, not just cunning, ruthlessness, and violence being the only defining character traits of the entire Kazon. It showed that they actually have a sense of honor. A skewed one, maybe, by human standards, maybe even by Klingon, but certainly there. And it's a shame, actually, we never saw this character again. I always kind of hoped he'd return, even in some other media, and so far, he has not. Which, it would be nice to catch up with him in sort of the future years of sort of Star Trek Prodigy, as we've seen Kazon in that, or perhaps even in Lower Decks or Picard even. There's potential to bring this race back and give them some redemption. Show, the Kazon can be more, which is what I would like to see. But Voyager did a really, honestly, piss-poor job of exploring the nuances of the Kazon people. The foundations were there, like with a lot of things in Voyager, but then the follow-through just wasn't. But let me know in the comment section below your opinion. Again, did you like the Kazon? Did you hate them? Do you agree with me that there could have been more to them and they just weren't properly explored? Let me know, comment section down below. If you made it all to the end of this video, thank you for watching, and bye-bye. One real quick appendix to throw on the end of this. I'm aware that Jal Carden became First Maj of the Kazon Ogla in Star Trek Online, but I don't cover Star Trek Online typically. I don't always consider it canonical, at least not alpha canon, so yeah, I'm aware, but I'm not including any of the storylines regarding his character from that, as things from Star Trek Online invariably will get retconned by the show if the character or ship or whatever from Star Trek Online actually makes a physical appearance in universe, which occasionally they have, looking at you, Star Trek Picard.